Almost certainly, you didn't ever plan to have to think about this on your own. Heck, you probably didn't plan to do retirement on your own. But here we are. Your spouse has died. And that sucks. Really, actually, I'm in the same boat. Sadly, my wife died in 2018 after a long cancer battle. And it's terrible. And I'm sure, like me, you've had to make tremendous decisions around a lot of different life things since your spouse has passed. And let me tell you, making a decision around Social Security is enormous. So let's make sure you don't make this one huge mistake that could impact you for the rest of your life. Hey, my name is Tyler, and I have been helping clients for the last 20 years look at Social Security benefits. And I've seen some situations in planning that has worked out beautifully over time. And frankly, I've seen some situations in planning for Social Security that has worked out really lousy because we didn't take everything into consideration. I want to make sure you get this right, because the truth is, if you get this right, it could be hundreds of thousands of dollars in your favor. And if we don't, you could miss out on a whole lot of money, and that could make a real difference in your standard of living through retirement. So here's the good news. As a widow or widower, you're entitled to collect on your former spouse's Social Security benefits as long as you were married to them for more than 9 months. So that's the good news. You can collect more than likely on their benefits. Here's the bad news. You don't collect both. So theoretically, your spouse could have collected $1,600 a month at 62, and then let's say you could collect $1,700 a month based on your own earnings history. Unfortunately, you have to choose one or the other, because the trouble is when you go down to the Social Security office or even you file online, you have a decision to make because you're filing for both. So you go down to the Social Security office and you say, I would like to file at age 62 for spousal survivor benefits. Well, it happens often that the person working behind the counter at Social Security Administration is not there necessarily to give you advice. That person is there to help you fill out the forms correctly. So it might be an easy decision for them to say, oh, well, if you collect on your own earnings history here, you're entitled to $1,700 a month and you'll get that extra $100. So why don't you do that? There it is. If you made that one simple decision, that could have cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of your lifetime. Big mistake. All right, let's figure out why that might be a big mistake. So I'm going to look at some numbers. So here we are. Again, your survivor benefits may only be $1,600, and your personal benefits based on your own earnings history would be $1,700 at age 62. Well, because you're a survivor, you could take Social Security benefits on your survivor, on your former spouse. And what happens to your benefits is they continue to grow. So they continue to grow in the background all the way. If you wait till age 70, your benefits would be $3,011. So at age 70, you could switch from $1,600 in a survivor benefit. At age 70, $3,000. You get almost a 75% raise for waiting. Plus, you've been collecting $1,600 a month along the way. So let's think about what that would look like. If you're collecting $1,600 for that 8-year period between 62 and 70, well, if you do the math, 8 years times $1,600, you've collected $150,000 over that time frame. That's a lot of money. The other big thing to know is if you're a survivor, you can collect earlier than anyone else. You can start as early as age 60. You don't have to wait till 62 like everybody else does. So here, looking at this chart again, at age 60, you could collect over $1,400, and that would last for a 10-year period from age 60 to age 70. So if we do that math, that's an extra $170,000 that you could collect between age 60 and age 70. And then at that point, you get an enormous raise by moving to your own benefits at over $3,000 in this example. So again, hypothetical example, absolutely please use your own numbers. Go down to the Social Security office, figure out what you're entitled to as far as your spousal benefit. The second thing is, well, what does that look like over time? So here in this chart, we say, okay, this column is collecting at age 62 if you're just collecting on your own earnings history versus at full retirement age versus your age 70. So those are all on your benefits. But here the hybrid approach, because you are a widow, because you get the opportunity to collect on your former spouse, here's where that extra $170,000 comes in. So this assumption assumes you live to age 90. There's $931,000 that you could collect out of Social Security based on the numbers we just talked about. Versus if you just simply filed and took your own benefit at age 62, you get less than $600,000. So here we are. It's over a $300,000 difference just to be mindful and take Social Security based on your survivor benefit, not necessarily on your own benefit. Again, run your own numbers, but that's a lot of money. So what does that look like over time? I love this little chart because I think it really helps illustrate what we're looking at. What we're talking about is starting at age 60, right? And yes, you're collecting a lower benefit for a 10-year period here to age 70. But then when you switch to your own, all of a sudden your benefits go up. The purple line is if you collect at 62 or full retirement age, or the blue is age 70. But this line here, you are well outpacing any other option. That's what we're talking about. The longer you live, the bigger this difference is. All right, so there is one enormous caveat to collecting at age 60, and that is if you take benefits before your full retirement age, you can't have earned income. You can't make a whole lot of money. So if you're collecting early at age 60 or 62, in 2023 here, you can't make more than about $21,240. If you make more than that, for every dollar you make more than that, Social Security benefits are going to be reduced by 50 cents. So if you're still working and you still enjoy working and you're making a good living, absolutely. Don't need to stop that, but just be mindful. Don't go down to Social Security office and turn Social Security on, because you'll actually be offset by all of it. You'll get zero at the end of the day because your income was too high. So let's look at, well, that leads to the next question. Well, when is your full retirement age? When can you work and make as much as you are able to and not have any offset? So it depends on your year of birth. So here we are. If you are turning 66 here in 2023, that means you would have been born in 1957. So your full retirement age would be 66 and 6 months. So look here for your year of birth and then figure out what your full retirement age is and kind of work backwards from there. It gets a little bit more complicated still. The year in which you turn full retirement age, let's say the year in which you turn 66 and 6 months, also, you can make up to $56,000 in the months leading up to the month in which you turn full retirement age. Talk to an advisor, make sure you run the numbers. This is a little more complicated than it would need to be, but let's follow the rules and make sure that if you file for Social Security, your income doesn't prevent you from getting any benefit anyway. So there we are. Please understand all these rules and make sure you've done your homework before pressing that little button. One little tab on a form. Make sure it says spousal versus your own benefits if that's your situation. Hey, thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe. It really helps me out. Like this video, send it to a friend who might find it helpful. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.